Howdy, folks. This is your good friend Hillbilly Scribbs with you for another one of these here episodes of the Truly Bizarre World, right here exclusively on the Feeding the Monster podcast feed's YouTube's channel. Now, for those of you that were with us last week, you know that we started down a journey of doing a series of these here episodes on the Sub-Bourbon legends. And I gotta tell you folks, this is some scary stuff. I might have bitten off more than I can chew on this one. We got into some pretty spooky stuff last week, and man, oh man, the Sub-Bourbon legends we're gonna talk about this week really give me the heebie-jeebies. But we're gonna do our best. We're gonna try to soldier through this and get it done. And yeah. So, I don't know what to say. Let's just get this thing started so we can get it over with, okay? Episode 10, Sub-Bourbon Legends, Part 2. Now, the first legend that we're going to be talking about today is a little something that they call the chasing clowns. And what this is there's these tales and a whole lot of eyewitnesses who claim this to be true of these roving bands of crazy looking clowns that just come out of nowhere and chase you. And they're super spooky and scary, and they all seemed a little unhinged, like even more unhinged than a clown ought to be. Now, I was able to do some research into this, I did some pretty deep investigating research on this one, because, you know, I'm a little scared of these guys myself. You know, the clowns, they kind of give me the heebie-jeebies sometimes, yeah. So I did some research, and here's what I found out. These clowns are actually nothing to be afraid of at all. Now, I did some looking into the history, and turns out there used to be these things called circuses. And you can learn all about them on the internet and on the Googles. And these circuses used to employ the clowns. And what happened was, a few years ago, and I don't really know all the details about this, but a few years back, this company called the PETA, they went around and started making all these circuses close down. Because some of the circuses, you know, they weren't treating all the animals real nice. So the PETA company stepped in and made them close up shop, basically. So as a result, there are countless unemployed clowns roaming the countryside. And, you know, they seem aggressive when they start chasing you, but they're really just trying to get your attention so that they can solicit work at birthday parties and business socials. So it's nothing to be afraid of, you know. Just slow down, let them come up to you. Some of them have weaponry and stuff on them, but that's nothing you need to worry about. Most of them, once they catch up with you, they're really nice, and they'll give you their card, and they just, like I said, they're just looking for some work. But yeah, that's about it. Now, on a side note, the PETA company puts out some pretty good product. I have tried their bread, and it is delightful, and it is most delightful with a little bit of Greek yogurt, some spinach leaves, and some grilled lamb. Now, the next one of these legends that we're going to talk about is about these things that folks have been calling the Blackeyed children. And, you know, there have been witnesses reporting sightings of these things all over the country. Actually, all over the world. And these reports have been coming in for a few years now. And a lot of the witnesses have stated that, you know, they feel that there's something supernatural or paranormal going on here. That these children, because that's what they look like, might be ghosts or specters on account of their eyes are completely black. And a lot of folks have speculated that these kids ain't got no souls and that they're up to no good. But you know what? The truth is even more bizarre than that. That's right. Here's a little bit of what I was able to find out when I did all my research and investigating on this. There was this pop music band that used to tour all over the world and sing their songs and shake their booties up on stage. And they were called the Blackeyed Peas. And, whenever they would go on tour, after they would do their singing and their booty shaking, they would do a lot of recreational procreating. So they left a lot of black-eyed children in their wake. And that's what people are coming across these days. And it's pretty freaky if you run into any of these kids. But they don't mean you no harm. They just want to, be funky and do some pop music just like their parents. So, just sing and dance with them and it'll be okay. All right, folks, it's the time of the episode for our final legend. And, this is the one that scares the hillbilly the most. The other legends that I've talked about in this episode and in the previous episode, they can be explained away, they can be logicked away. You can get on the internets and pretty much figure out what they are. But this one is the real deal, folks. This one is the legend of the Goat Man. Now, here's what I can tell you about the Goat Man. He's real. He's the real deal. That's right. He is a half man, half goat abomination. He started life not as that. He actually started life as a scientist working at the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center in Beltsville, Maryland. And he was working on some projects for the PETA Company. Now, we talked about the PETA Company earlier. And they had hired him on to do some genetical experimentation on some goats and some lambs to put into their gyro sandwiches at their Gyro Bell restaurants. And they're pretty tasty, by the way. Now, in the course of doing these genetical experiments, one of them backfired, and that's what turned him into a half goat, half man. And, for a long time after that happened, he would roam the countryside there in Maryland and, scare folks half to death. Now, eventually, the PETA Company took pity on him, and they actually hired him to be their mascot. He actually did some comedy bits and was did a pretty good stand-up act. He was even on that Saturday Night Live television show for a while. So, it did kind of work out okay for him. But, man, spooky, strange story. Now, since then, goat men have been seen all over the country. And usually this can be explained away as professional athletes who have reached a later part of their career where they're not as good as they used to be. And they try to recreate the goat man's experiment so that they can be the goat of their game again. Tom Brady's been doing it for a long time. Now, if you've got a story or a topic idea for the truly bizarre world, the best thing to do is to download the Anchor app onto your mobile device. And you can go on there and look up the Feeding the Monster podcast feed and leave us a voice message. And, it's just like making a phone call and leaving a message, except for you only got a minute to do it. And you know what? That's actually a good thing because it keeps the super secret government agencies from tracking your calls. Yep. And you can also leave suggestions for future show topics right down there in the comment section. And who knows, maybe you'll be on a future truly bizarre world. Now, Also, make sure you check out all of our stuff over on the Feeding the Monster podcast feed. And you can find that wherever fine podcasts are served. We got a lot of great shows over there, a lot of good content. So check it out. And until next time, you folks, keep it real, keep it weird, and keep it glorious.